Yeah, so I don't know. You guys show up. Let's come down. Dude, I don't even have words to describe it. I'm still like in a state of shock over here. Like, look at this thing.
So, did you do the telecheck last year for your buck?
Yeah.
What a pain in the butt.
You gotta know the spread, you gotta know the county.
It took, I typed in 100 numbers and it took like 10 minutes.
All right, guys.
Welcome to the Deer Shop Podcast, presented by Siman Brothers Outdoors and the Leaky John Boat Company.
He went and watched a movie that has a $200 million production budget, and then the next thing he watched was our video on YouTube that has a $0 production budget.
This is the first buck I've shot in over 10 years.
Your track job was the first fun track job.
That kind of like, I think
Part of my life was influenced by that night.
then you miss him 3 times with a rifle at 70 yards on video for the whole world to see.
Yeah, that's what Caleb did. 5 years ago, we couldn't shoot a deer at 100 yards with a slug gun. Now you're shooting turkeys at 100 yards with a shotgun.
Joey takes
The shop is closing up.
Make sure he takes all his right antlers. You can't leave anything.
All right, guys. Deer Shop Podcast, episode, I believe this is 110.
Is it 110 or is it 109?
109 is Jay Alaska Moose.
I was on that podcast.
You were on that podcast. Your brain is scrambled.
He
Dude, are you okay?
He's tired.
Yeah.
Hold on. I gotta do something before we go too far. We need to point your mic at your mouth. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Wait.
Is mine all right? As I look at mine to make sure it's...
Angle it down a little bit, maybe. You're the professional podcast.
Well,
what the heck,
I don't
man?
have a headset.
So we are here, Kentucky Deer Camp 2025, opening, or today's second day.
Mm-hmm. Technically. Yeah.
We have Born Again Matt, Ethan, and myself hosting today. And
There's one guy without a buck tag anymore.
I don't have a buck tag anymore because I actually filled it. Unbelievable.
Dude, what does that feel like?
I filled my buck tag. Well, to be honest with you, we have no script today either, guys. So we're really shooting from the hip here.
Because we were talking earlier that normally you're the guy at camp that holds out last day kind of situation, or...
Yeah, I'm famously picky, and I usually enjoy hunting the whole time, taking it in, being part of the atmosphere.
Not this year.
It is strange. Like, I have potentially 2 or 3 days now where I'm just going to be relaxing and
butchering.
I'm gonna start butchering on it as soon as this podcast is over. I do have it caped. So for the listeners, I shot a buck last night, opening day. I was thinking about it when I was in the bathroom earlier, talking to Aaron Olson on the phone. This is the first buck I've shot since we've had the podcast.
Yes.
Really?
This is the third season of the podcast. We've had it for
Wow.
a little over 2 years.
Wow.
And this is the first buck that I've shot since we've had
The curse is over.
And I was also thinking about the other day, I think me and Ethan were talking about on the drive back from the farm last night. How many deer camps have we shared together with your crew, Matt? You and or your crew?
Well,
This is at least 5, maybe 6.
it started in Indiana, right? Wasn't that our first camp that we shared together?
Indiana with Wild Time.
We did the Indiana with Wild Time year. We did Indiana again. And then this would be the third Kentucky.
Yeah.
So then
Opening weekend
five,
last year. Yeah.
So then 5.
Yeah, this will be, so we're at 5. But and the point on that was we've killed a deer, I think, every camp.
Every
camp that we've shared, somebody has killed a deer.
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're not bragging. We're just stating facts. But like every camp that I've ever been a part of, somebody has killed something. Now, whether it's a giant or a dink, that's up to that person that pulls the bow back. But we have been successful, which is also, that's awesome. So,
well, in that, so the 5 camps we've shared together, there's been your giant Kentucky buck, your 160. There was Kevin's almost 140, right? Like 30s.
137, I think.
Isaac's 120s. This buck that I killed will probably be like, you think 110s, I'm thinking right around 110. in between 110 and 120.
I'm gonna say he's gonna go like 115.
I said 118 when I first walked up on him.
I'll be okay with 118, but we have started to kill. In the first year was like we need to kill any buck that we see.
Yep.
Kind of the
legal, yeah.
Because it was when we first went with you 4 or 5 years ago now. That was technically our third or fourth year doing the public lands.
That was the year Isaac killed that 8, right?
I couldn't remember the time frame on that.
I feel like there's a tick on me. Hold on a second. I'm not even joking.
There
Unless it's a
very
scab.
much could definitely be
Nope,
a tick on
it's
you
just a
at some point.
scab.
But I can't remember if did Isaac kill his buck the same year Kevin killed his good buck?
No, because
No.
I was gone when Isaac killed his
Kevin
buck, and I was
killed-
there when Kevin killed his buck.
Kevin killed, but it wasn't his good buck. It was that little 6-point.
That's right.
I shouldn't say little. I mean, it is a 6-point, but he had a cage at least.
Yeah.
And then the next year is when Kevin shot that good one.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something to be said about when you get groups together like we have. There's been a few others that have joined us. Wild Time was there for one. Aaron Olson was there for one. Aaron Olson's somewhere in the state right now hunting, but he didn't want to join us.
Yeah, and we invited him.
Right.
I know you're listening to this, Aaron, so next time show up.
He's one of those.
Rather
I think
sleep in a
Aaron's
tent.
one of those sneaky, like he won't let on, but he does listen to every episode.
Yeah.
He's got nothing, that
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of his business is
Yeah.
to be in the know. But
Yeah, we literally have a bed right over
We do.
Caleb's shoulder.
He would not fit on that bed. Aaron's one tall dude.
Yeah, you can stick your feet through the little headboard thing.
curl up.
Yeah.
Point being, when we share these camps together and everyone gets together, it basically brings out the best in our hunting times and abilities, I guess is the word for it.
It's a good
we
group
find
of
a way
guys.
to get successful. And it's cool because it's cool because we are not the same. Our groups are vastly different, and that's I think what helps make it work. The core is the same.
Mm-hmm.
We like to do this. We like to sit here and talk about hunting. We like to watch hunting, but we hunt different methods, different ways. We have our differences, but when we come together, people are killing deer. In camp.
And we all get along, which is nice. Like there's nobody butting heads or anything in camp.
No hostility.
We're not
No.
that. It's kind of funny because if you would read our comments and then maybe read some of the Facebook posting and read into some of the stuff, you would think that we would butt heads with people all the time.
Yeah.
But in person, we never do.
No.
It's always.
I always have a good time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny how that works. And I'm, now I don't know what your guys' plans are. I know, both of our groups, Born Again, Siman Brothers, we have started to get married, buy houses, build families. And that's everyone's doing it now. So the days of us having 10 people together in Indiana again are probably limited. But now I'm juiced and I want to go. Now I'm ready.
He's all excited because he killed a buck.
Yeah, it's like we got to go. But
We'll see how these next couple sits go from me.
yeah,
We're both killing tonight.
We'll get into some of this tactic stuff later. It's unfortunate that the way these Kentucky private farms that we're hunting work out, that you get like a good day and a good sit, and then maybe a decent sit, and then every time it turns into like the next sits are a little bit rough.
Yeah.
They're not used to the human pressure.
Yeah.
And when the pressure starts to get ramped up on these farms, the deer just nocturnal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were actually talking this morning. I slept in, and for anybody that like follows my stuff, that I'm, pretty hardcore when I'm out of state. I don't like staying in. I don't like sleeping in. I don't like wasting time. I'm always in the woods, and it was really hard for me not to go this morning. But we had talked about it last night, and I didn't have a good wind. And where I wanted to go, I had to walk basically the whole farm. And if I would have done that, it's either feast or famine. Either I kill him or I just ruined it for the next day and a half.
Right.
So I chose to sleep in because, marginal wind, foggy this morning. It was just better I'm just going to go in tonight and hopefully get it done.
Yeah, it was extremely foggy. I couldn't even see 30 yards into the field from my stand because of the fog.
We pulled out of the property last night, 11:30, 11:45-ish, when we finally got my buck out.
Oh, it was foggy.
We'll get into that story eventually in this podcast, but it was the foggiest I've ever seen it in my life.
Down here, you're saying?
I mean, like that fog we were driving through.
Oh, it was thick. Yeah.
Down in this river bottom. It was so foggy that I just couldn't see nothing. Like I was driving 10 under the speed limit back home because it was just
when you guys called me, because the farm that I hunt, I don't have any phone service. So of course, like I thought maybe I was gonna hunt the next morning, so I tore down my set. That takes a half hour. Then I have a half hour to an hour walk out, and by the time I drive 10 minutes to find service, I'm having 7 text messages from you guys wondering if I died. I finally make contact, and you guys tell me that you killed, and I was driving like 45 mile an hour because the fog was so thick.
Yeah.
So it took me forever to get to the farm.
You did get back here. Well, I shouldn't say here. This is our beautiful big cock on the wall Airbnb. But you got back to where we were our farm where we were hunting pretty quickly. We weren't even done eating yet. Like we went to Walmart, grabbed some supplies, went and grabbed a burger, and I was still eating my burger when you pulled up.
I was hustling.
Yeah, you made good time.
I didn't want you to wait, I didn't want you waiting on me.
I mean, at the moment that I killed the deer, I instantly started thinking about you guys because like there's no time frame for me now.
Yeah.
I was up till 3:00 in the morning last night.
Yeah.
It don't matter. But I was thinking like, man, I would like to get this deer somewhat taken care of so that these boys can get some sleep so they can get out hunting in the morning. And then, Ethan I took some video of you napping earlier today when I was doing my
Was I snoring?
the video
Actually,
a little
not bad,
but not bad.
Like I was laying here and it was
like,
very.
You didn't snore last night either very much. Like a little bit here and there, but
Tell my girlfriend that. She won't believe you.
I swear to God that you did not snore that bad last night. Just like I don't eat with my mouth open.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I was instantly after I killed him last night, like thinking about you guys. Like I didn't want to keep you up till whatever time.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I would have been more disappointed in you if you would have just grabbed him and pulled him to the truck and not let me at least come.
Yeah.
Because like before you guys left, I was like, if you kill one, like, let me know. I'd love to be involved. And that's the whole part of camp,
I feel the same way too. Like I want to be there.
Yeah.
When the deer stuff is happening, I want to be there.
Yeah. Like I don't care if it's midnight.
And I also was like in this state of shock. So like I shot the deer, and after all this stuff went down, like I didn't even know what to do. I'm like, well, like normally, like I have it down to a science at home. I have it down to a science in West Virginia. This is different. This is we're in an unfamiliar place. We don't have the use of side-by-sides or trucks or anything to get these deer out. The velvet was starting to peel off the antlers, so I was panicking about that. Like I couldn't just grab a horn and start dragging like I would in West Virginia, take it back to the cabin. Like it was a weird feeling. Plus there was still like 45 minutes of daylight left. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what do I do? So I just sat there, FaceTime my wife, and then like made a couple social media posts and went into a group chat and I was just leaning against my deer.
You want to get chilling. Just tell a story.
Yeah, we might as well tell a story. So I'll preface this by saying this is our 3rd season hunting this farm. We've killed 3 gobblers. The group has killed 3 gobblers prior to this, never killed a deer. Ethan got this permission piece because he was hunting public land when he got back from the Navy, having a grand old time, just like Aaron.
Hiking the hills.
Now, running into camps. You met those people. Do you keep in touch with them at all? Ran into this group of guys.
It was the same year I was hunting, right? We were like basically in the same area.
Yeah.
So it's if you're watching the show, the Deer Camp Chronicles, it's literally episode 1 or episode 2 of season 1, like the first starts this whole thing. So we then ended up getting this farm that we hunt now, permission piece, talked to the landowner, became friends with the daughter, got a key to the gate, carte blanche. It's been a beautiful thing. But it is an interesting farm to hunt, and we've been trying to figure it out. And this year, there was no soybeans. For the last 2 years have been soybeans, which makes it real easy this time of year. We have cameras on bean fields. You set up on the edge of bean fields, you watch bucks in bean fields, and you try to kill them. No beans, no planted crops at all this year, all CRP. We didn't know how that was going to go. So Ethan's been down. How many times did you come down this summer?
Twice.
Ethan came down twice this summer, scouting, cameras, stands, and corn piles. We did put some corn piles out this last time. We went that route. We did it. Dylan came down in the spring, helped us out by putting out minerals and cameras, and he killed 2 gobblers on the farm, found a decent shed. I want to put that shed next to that antler and see how close it is. They look very similar.
Yeah.
I might have to make him give it to me.
Just say it's a buck and then you have to give it to you.
Yeah, right. So Ethan did all the prep work. This year I was unable to come down. I didn't help him with any of that prep work. We came down twice last fall and hunted together and did some stand stuff, but Ethan did all the setups this time. He hung a setup for me. He hung a setup for himself. It's weird. Back in early velvet times, before we were doing any baiting, we had 2 shooter bucks that were showing up, and a third that would have been shot for sure. And And but the 2-shooter bucks that were showing up, the one was a mega.
Yeah.
I mean,
160
that
typical.
160-inch typical.
Yeah,
awesome buck. No brainer.
Massive deer.
Just grab
Like
the bow.
biggest deer of your life kind of deer.
Yeah.
They were showing up pretty heavily. The mineral licks started tapering off. The action down here died. Ethan came down, put out corn. How many days ago? It was like the first week you were allowed, or second week.
It was the week. It's been a week and 2 days.
Okay. And instantly, this really, really nice 8-point started hitting Ethan's bait pile religiously, 2 to 3 times a day, every day, in velvet. Probably 130 with the velvet on. He probably would get close to 140, like 135 to 140, and just a beautiful KG8 with good G3s or G2s, G3s.
No, threes.
Yeah, threes.
Just beautiful buck. So we were very excited, and this deer was showing up in daylight on Ethan's camera at his stand site religiously, almost daily.
In the morning. Only in the morning, though.
In the mornings. Well, there was some mid-afternoon.
Yeah, he would come in at like 11 p.m., 2 to 4 a.m., and then 7 to 8 a.m. in the daylight.
So he was just a very good buck. So we were excited, and the whole way down here, there was a lot of anticipation. We knew that there was a very good shootable buck using a stand location daily in daylight. And you get those things added up together, and it's like,
Gets you excited.
yeah, like this isn't just a hope and a prayer. This is excitement.
Yeah.
So opening night comes, we get down here, get into the cabin.
Preface, he showed up opening morning. I was at work till 7 a.m.
Yes.
So we couldn't come down for opening morning.
Yeah,
of course.
We didn't leave until 9-ish a.m. from back in Ohio.
Yeah.
Ethan didn't get off and home till 8. 9:30 maybe we left, somewhere around there. But the deer was killable on opening morning, just Ethan wasn't in the stand. We get down here, unload cabin, get out to the hunting grounds. I was going to hang, so the way my hunt went, I was actually going to first off hang a mobile set observation stand for this morning first, so that I could get that out of the way. Then I could go hunt my stand, and then like this morning, if I would need to, I'd be able to sit this observation stand, watch where the deer go bed, because we were kind of pretty sure they were starting to bed in the big CRP, which is unlike last year. Last year they were bedding in the bottoms coming up into this upper crop field, but this year they were in the CRP a lot. So I tried to hang this mobile set. I couldn't find a tree I liked. I tried a tree, got 2 sticks up, was looking. I'm like, this is just awful. So I ended up scrapping that idea, taking it back to the truck. So I was kind of late getting to my stand. Ethan got in way earlier than I did. I got up, had to put a bow hanger in the tree. Have you noticed that like the bow hangers that we buy at the store now aren't sharp enough to like?
Yeah, they suck.
It like I don't think about that until it's time to put one in, and you're up there for 10 minutes just cranking and banging and pushing and trying to get the stupid bow hangers in the tree.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh,
Yeah, I've gone away from those because,
but I love having my bow on my left hand out away from the tree.
No, I get it.
You're sitting there, you can just reach up. Well, you're a saddle guy, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I get it though.
Finally get my bow hanger in. Everything's good. Camera, my setup is good. Early on, I notice a small 6-point in velvet buck out in the CRP. He stands up in like these, I think they're cottonwoods. Like they're like they're like seeded cottonwoods in the middle of this field that have started to grow.
Yeah, so last year the beans were in the field, but in the middle of the field it's CRP because of the drainage. They couldn't get the tractor in there, so it's been 3 or 4 years of CRP in the beans. And then now it's all CRP. So there's thicker CRP and there's thinner CRP.
And the thicker has these cottonwood trees. I noticed brown moving in between some shoots, some sapling shoots. Pull up the binos, little 6-pointer. I like got the camera on him and watched him make a rub on a bush and just some little things. Even though I'm pretty sure he still had his velvet on, but in the process of peeling, I'm sure. So I watched him, and then he ran across the field and started eating on the natural browse. There's like the field edge here is hard to explain. There's the main part of the field. Then there's the edge of the field is all mature trees. These fields are old. So the trees on the edge of the field are 40, 50, 60 years old. I mean, they're too big around to put a tree stand in.
Yeah.
And they creep out. So there's a buffer zone underneath these trees of grass, CRP, crazy, those like grape bushes, the blow down limbs the farmers have pushed into there. It's real thick, really, really thick edge of the field. It's not just an easy transition into the woods. And then once you get past that transition into the canopy, it tapers down into a river pretty quickly. So like it's an interesting setup. This buck was working his way through that edge, that 20-yard buffer. he either saw me or smelled me, even though he was upwind. Something happened, and he boogered quick and took off to the south. Went down. I got some video of him running off, and I was confused by it because he was upwind, but he might have skylined me. But my tree had good cover. I don't know. It's hard to say. And then so I was sitting there for a while in the crickets were out early because it had rained all day. But as the sun started setting, I noticed a group of does at like 30 yards silently walking in these like pine leaves, these pine needles and these wet leaves. I couldn't hear them coming in. There's this group of does at 30, and I heard them start stomping.
Oh, I hate that.
And it's just like I could see a fawn, and I could see a tail of a mature deer. And eventually I was able to get my binoculars up, and there's like 4 or 5 does and fawns, no spots.
Doing the head bob thing.
Yeah, doing the whole 9 yards. Head bobbing, stomping, they start blowing and blowing and blowing. And then they take off the direction that little buck went, blowing the whole way. And this lasted for about 10 minutes.
He's texting me like these does keep on blowing at me.
I'm hunting over this bait pile. I don't do it often anymore, except for super late season. So and I'm already just getting ready to talk about on this podcast how much I hate hunting over bait, how much it sucks.
I remember you even talking about that last night when we were, because you were like, in my head, I was like, I hate these does. I hate bait piles. We shouldn't be doing it.
It's so predictable. They're circling on the downwind. It's not even the downwind, on the down thermal side where the river bottom's pulling my scent, and they're just winding the hell out of me before you even have a chance.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get a mature buck to come in here and eat from this thing and me shoot him? It's just not going to happen, right? So I'm down and just like, this sucks. And then to make it worse, they come back. They slowly come back and do the same
They're like,
thing.
was that real?
And then like half of them end up leaving, and the other half is just staging at like 75 yards, not looking at me, just looking around, but not coming in, just being there. And it's like, dang, like this hunt's done, right? Ruined, toast. Like,
and what time was this again?
5:30, 6:30, somewhere around there. Like it was prior, it was
so fairly early though.
Yeah. There were deer
I didn't
moving
see
early.
my first deer until 7.
Yeah, I was out of the tree stand by then, I think.
That's crazy.
So these deer, well, it might have been right around 7.
Let's
I'm not
look.
sure. But they're just staging, kind of hanging out at that 70, 80 yard mark. And at that point, I had to adjust, right? So I'm not too worried about my movement anymore. If they see me and bust, they see me and bust, right? Like whatever. So I'm just hanging out in my tree stand. I stand up and kind of glassing around, checking my phone, standing around, just being bored up in this tree with does blowing at me. And I look over my shoulder out into this large CRP, and I notice a buck.
Were you just like, did you have like a gut feeling to look, or were you just scanning?
No, every once in a while I checked.
Yeah.
I was checking the thick spots, but I remember, because I'd already glassed everything that looked like it had been a deer in the thick spots. So every time I looked, it was literally over my left shoulder. So every time I look back, I'm like, all those spots are the same, nothing new. When I did it one time, I'm like, oh, the spots are in the middle of the field. That's moving. So like, it's a deer. Like, okay, binoculars up. I could see velvet, and then he was at least an 8-point, and he had a pot belly, and he was moving left. He was moving right to left, so east to west, over 100 yards from me. Pretty good clip. Like he wasn't running, but like this deer was on. He was going somewhere, So that was exciting, and I swung my camera around, but I wasn't able to get any video from where he was. There was just a lot of branches on the side of the field, and he eventually left view, heading west, directly he was to the north of me. So I mean, I figured he was going to come into the woods and then ride that ridge all the way around, get downwind of me, start blowing, all of that. But the interesting part was he was not a deer that had been on the corn pile camera there. So like we've been watching these corn pile cameras for a week, and I knew that I had not had a velvet buck over 2.5 years old on this pile yet. That was one of the things. Like Ethan put me in the secondary spot, which is fine. You can't all hunt the good spot. His spot was loaded with deer. Mine was getting some deer, but they were all young bucks and fawns and does.
That just goes back to what we were talking about earlier about how we can't live off of our cameras.
No,
yeah.
Because if you would have just went off of camera intel and that corn pile, you'd have been like, it's not worth me going down.
Yeah, I'm here for moral support and hang out.
But then you just killed your first full velvet buck.
And we knew that because we had 2 cameras on 80 acres of field edge, and we had it on 2 corn piles. Like we knew that there's deer in the field that we don't see.
And when you told me it wasn't beans, it actually kind of got me excited. I was like, that might be really good, actually.
Now I like it better.
Because like I was thinking more like early Muzz. I was like, you guys are gonna probably like there's gonna be a good one in there bedded somewhere.
Yeah. And this, all the bucks that I saw yesterday, I saw 2, and I saw more bucks afterwards. Like when I was just waiting for Ethan, they all came out of the field. They were all bedded in that CRP, in that thicket. It's kind of hard to explain on a podcast what I mean by that. People are picturing a square cornfield, and it's not. It's a rolling green meadow, and and on the east edge of it all, where there's like an access road, and then like the east edge extending out into the fields in the middles is these drainages Ethan's talking about, like these small trees. So like, it's perfect deer bedding habitat.
Well, yeah, we're kind of in the foothills too. Like, not to give away our location by all means, but it's not flat, square timber lots. Like, I mean, this is foothills, rugged terrain, and basically the fields are what they had to deal with. There's no making a perfectly square rectangle.
Nothing flat.
No.
And there's nothing square or flat.
No.
And the public that's really close by is steep. And
one edge is river bottom, the other edge is sheer cliffs.
Yep,
yeah, and we're talking, it's rugged.
Yeah. So that buck had disappeared, but I had spun around and I'm facing the tree now. So I did a complete 180 on the tree, and I'm facing the tree, camera off to my left.
Are the does still there?
Behind me somewhere.
But you just didn't care.
I'm over it. Yeah. They've already blown at me for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
There's nothing else I can do.
Yeah, I
so
get you.
Whatever. So I'm just trying to see what I'm doing is I spun around because I wanted to watch if more bucks were coming out, or if they were heading towards Ethan or whatever. I'm going to watch the show. And I'm like watching. I catch movement, and I swear this buck is standing there just licking an oak tree branch in the CRP at 27 yards.
So you were glassing like 100.
Yeah, I'm like looking out there, making sure the does aren't blowing. There's nothing off to my left in the deep, like the woods goes off to my left, so I keep scanning that because that's where Dylan found the shed, and like I knew that there was a lot of activity to my left in the woods, but I hadn't seen anything there yet. Just keep an eye on. Then I just looked down to he was right by my entry trail. Ethan cut a trail through that buffer zone we talked about. He's just standing there licking a branch, and I'm like, I didn't have time to panic. I had time. I had to make.
You reacted.
I had decision making.
Yeah.
And I realize he turns his head. He's got a G4 and a beam on the right side, and I'm like, and he's in full velvet, and he's got a pot belly, and I'm like, I'm shooting this deer.
Yeah.
Like this is a deer that is getting shot by me right now. And I didn't know how far his distance was at that time. I was just like looking at him close, and I made sure to click my camera on and turn it towards him. And then I had my second, for some reason, I was able to get my second angle camera going. I don't know how I did that, but I did. And I was very scared that my movements up there he was going to see me. So I didn't take the time to like perfectly get my camera on him in focus, which I regret a little bit now, but whatever. I was able to get my bow.
Hey, you broke the curse. That's all that matters.
I broke the curse. I was able to grab my bow and reach my rangefinder, and when I put my rangefinder on, he was behind some branches a little bit, but like I could still clearly see where he was at. I just remember I put my rangefinder on, I put it right on the center of his chest because he was kind of facing me, and it was just 2.7, and I'm thinking, like, normally when you range a deer
60.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and they're in a field. Yeah. They're never like you're just getting your landmarks, getting ready, right?
Yeah.
And like it's funny how it struck me. Like I knew my bow was already set at 25. I'm like, dude, that you could shoot that deer right now with no adjustments.
Yeah.
And I just put my rangefinder back, and I did adjust. I did like 2 clicks on my sight to 27, knock. And I managed to draw, and it didn't spook him. And I was at full draw for maybe like 30, 45 seconds. It didn't feel long at all, and it didn't feel hard because he was facing directly towards me. And I was wondering if he was going to keep coming down my entry trail.
Because you were worried that he was going to hit that.
He was within like 3 feet of where I walked into the woods. So like, I knew that like at any moment he was going to smell something.
Yeah.
Or he's going to walk my entry trail, and I had to put it between his shoulders. He was going to walk under me. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going to happen. If he would have walked down my entry trail and kept going to the west, the tree would have been in my way. So I wouldn't have been able to shoot at all. I had to let down. It would have been a disaster.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, he turned and like he kind of like turned back out towards the field and started walking south. And I mouth grunted him, and he was just perfectly broadside at 27 yards, standing as a statue, head up, just looking at me or in my direction. And I had my sight, my pin was in the grass. I just remember I raised it up. I had both eyes open. I raised it up, and it cleared his white And you know, the little things that you always think about now, because we've talked about it on the podcast so many times. I was back off the shoulder. Like I didn't follow the leg up. I went white belly, like grass, white belly, up like 3 or 4 inches. And I just sent it, just whoop, both eyes. And I remember he did duck a little bit, not terribly, but he did duck enough. And when he ducked, he didn't do a straight down.
He did the roll.
He did the roll away.
Yeah.
And the arrow went in. If you had if the deer was standing broadside and the way the arrow went in him, it would have passed through like butter, perfect. The way he angled technically helped me as far as killing him fast.
For a track job.
It got his arteries below his spine and I believe it was his upper right.
You got along. Yeah, you got along.
And just destroyed it.
Yeah.
And he literally continued his swing, fell down and died within 4 feet of where I hit him. Yeah. Did like 4 or 5 kicks on the ground. Stop breathing.
He
was dead within 10 seconds of me squeezing the trigger.
That's all. And that's what you want.
But I was struggling to grab another arrow at that time just because anytime a deer hits the ground,
that's when
instant reaction.
Yeah, panic sets.
And it's happened to me. It happened with Hook. Hook hit the ground. I didn't get another arrow in.
And then they stand up and run away.
I get hit by a car 3 years later. It's a beautiful thing. So I grabbed another arrow. I got it knocked. I missed my knock the first time. Got the knock the second. Clipped. And I don't even think I got to draw. I remember I just held my bow with the sight on him, the sight window. And I could tell that he was belly breathing. And then he just stopped. And I was like, I'm looking at my second angle camera like, I don't even know what to say. I just killed a buck. I just killed a buck on film in Kentucky Velvet opening day with my bow.
Something I think this is year 5 or maybe 6. I don't even remember. But I've been trying for 5, 6,
So we're giving
years.
good old college try is what we're doing.
I remember before we became friends, when I just knew of you because of a couple conversations you said you hunted by us, I watched some of your early Born Again videos, and they're all down here. You're in your junkie camper.
Yeah.
And like hunting this farm and like
Yeah.
struggling to get on a velvet buck or getting close or hunting on the ground and
Yeah, we
all
tried,
the things that you were doing then.
We tried everything, yeah.
Is that the same farm you're hunting now?
No, it's same area.
Okay, because like the farm you're hunting now has very large bucks, and the farm you're hunting then had very small bucks.
Yeah,
like
same area,
which is strange,
farm.
right? Like, what's up with the genetics on that? Do you think
on the farm that I hunt now?
Yeah, I mean, like those first early videos, it seemed like you were. I know we're getting sidetracked, obviously, but
no, it's all right.
It seemed like you were like very content with those bucks, but then you moved to this farm you're hunting now, and it's like, dude, you killed a 160-inch buck on it last year. Like,
yeah,
there's forever trophies on this farm, you know.
Yeah, so I think we were just young and dumb and didn't realize what the potential was. Because remember how we talked about it a little bit on the podcast at the beginning, or you had mentioned it, how you'll blow out a farm super, super easy down here.
Fast.
Because they're not used to the pressure.
Yeah.
And like we used to take a week off, and we hunted every single day. And I think we just burned stuff out so fast. And I think the only thing that was sticking around was those 2-year-olds, maybe a 3-year-old random, but like the big mature deer were gone. And it took us a while to realize, because like back home.
Pre-cell cam, right?
Yeah, pre-cell cam. I don't want to say it's easier back home, but where we live back home, they're used to human pressure because of, for one, how many people are in the area, how small the properties are, etc. Like if a buck were to get bumped and move, every time he smelt a human presence back home, he would never stop moving. Well, down here, we're in such rugged terrain, and it's honestly, it's so vast where, I mean, truly, he probably doesn't smell human very often.
He can get away from him.
Yeah, very easily he can get away from it. So when you get into their bubble more than once or twice, I mean, they freak out about it.
I am a firm believer. We've talked about it on this podcast. I think me and you've talked about it on the side. That older, mature does are so much harder to be around than these bucks. Like the takeaway I'm having from this hunt, besides sometimes you're just given that gift and you have to appreciate it. These does were being such bastards to me. Yeah. They were being fucking bastards to me for an hour. And this buck just waltzed in without a care in the world, never even gave me a thought. Like,
yeah,
I probably could have got away with filming up there a little bit more. And
well, in his defense,
he just didn't give a shit. You know?
He wasn't coming in. So in my mind, the does were coming into the corn.
Right.
So they were going down, not downwind, but down thermal. Obviously, they were lower than the corn. The thermals were sucking down into that bottom. She wanted to make sure it was safe before she took her family clan up there to eat.
Factually.
That buck had no care in the world for the corn, so he didn't have to circle downwind. Nope. And I mean, and that's why. But I feel like he wouldn't have acted the same. He would have got out of there quick.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't have stuck around and blown at you 7 times.
Because he was just doing beautiful buck things.
Yeah.
You know, like hitting these, like he was sniffing these low licking branches, browsing on the natural forage a little bit, looking around, chewing his cud. Like, not any edge, not any alert. Like, there was nothing in the world bothering that deer.
Which also brings up a good point of a lot of people get really frustrated when does start blowing at you. And I did it as well, like in my younger days. Now I don't even care because I've seen does blow at squirrels. I've seen does blow at like a coyote. So like in your I mean, it proves my theory. Like that buck didn't care at all that those, and he heard them.
Well, that I don't know because where he came out, you
don't think he
100 plus yards away with what's next door to us there going down.
That.
So and the does were down in the bottom. So he may not have heard them, but I still agree with you because every time I've killed a good buck, honestly, almost every time I've killed a good buck, there's been things that happen on those hunts that I would say like that's gonna be the
ruin the hunt.
You know, I could just go back to the list. When I killed the traveler, I took a shit in the woods that morning, 20 yards from my tree stand, and I killed the biggest buck of my life that evening from that stand.
Yeah.
When I killed that big West Virginia 10-point, that was the second buck shot from that tree that morning.
Yeah.
Chris shot one earlier, gutted it, and drug it away.
Yeah.
And then I walked up there and sat in the same tree and killed the biggest buck that the camp's ever killed. When I killed Massey, I guess I can't remember anything bad happening with Massey. We already talked about it.
Didn't you miss him the first time?
Yeah, but that I did right, but he didn't have enough time to be scared of something. But we talked this morning, sitting around drinking coffee, watching hunting, the dad's buck story. I missed him out of the same tree the night before and came back to the same area. So I think you're right. I think people put too much stock in I ruined it.
Do you think
the hunt's over?
Yeah.
Do we overthink hunting?
100%.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
That's like that should be the lead of our podcast.
Yeah.
Of course we overthink hunting.
Yeah. No, I think staying like mentally in the game is more important than, for example, if you would have just sat down, pulled your phone out and said, my hunt's over, I'm just going to pout here and scroll through Instagram while these does blow at me, you would have never looked over your shoulder.
Correct.
So, I mean.
And then I would have got busted by him an hour later, not paying attention.
Yeah.
And then I would have.
You would have heard,
really been mad.
A stick break and you would have looked and you'd been 20 yards behind you.
But, and I think you had to simplify it. And that's why I know, like in Ethan's situation right now, he'll be on hunt 3 tonight, hasn't seen much in the way of deer. He's down on it. We talk about the pressure ruining the farms, but do the math. We still know that there's 4 shooter quality bucks on that farm that you would shoot that are using it, that have been using it all summer. It's a new day, new set of winds, new set of weather.
Mm-hmm. And here's
other hunters in the woods. Like any of those 4 deer could walk by your stand tonight, and
at any given
you're telling
time.
this story tomorrow morning.
Well, here's a good thing to kind of boost your morale. So, like when I used to hunt for that week-long period, we would see like the same buck for a couple days, and then a new buck would move in, and like he didn't know we were back there.
Yeah.
And then we'd booger him, and then another buck would move in. So like it's
a
especially
moving cycle.
Especially whenever you're hunting near like water, like as in like a river source, like they go up and down that so much. So like you could be sitting in your stand tonight, and a freak nasty could walk by that you've never even seen on camera. I mean, it's possible.
And
I don't think the hunt this morning hurt at all either. It was so foggy, no wind.
As long as
it didn't seem like the deer were moving much in Kentucky. The cameras, there was deer on camera after we got out of there last night, but then after, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when I was finally going to bed, those cameras died off, and there was nothing happening in Kentucky all morning on camera, which is good because the same thing happened yesterday with the rain. Mm-hmm. The more, you did have your buck on camera, but like the cameras were subdued because of the rain and the weather. Tonight after all that foggy morning, like it's a bluebird sunny day out there. So
blood moon. Say the blood moon.
I don't believe in that kind of witchcraft, but I do. If it helps you mentally tonight, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I don't either. But if it keeps you,
I don't know how it works.
Keeps you in the game, then No.
I mean, the moon does like affect the tides and the migrations of some critters, so I guess there could, in theory.
No, I think the moon has influence. I really do. I really do. But as far as like the blood moon or anything like that,
Didn't Joey kill Bankrupt on Blood Moon?
I have no idea.
I think he did. I think Joey killed Bankrupt on a Blood Moon.
well, then there you go. Hopefully, a 190 walks in.
Yeah, shit.
196 and change.
That'd be something.
Which score he accepted. So that's basically the hunt. I mean, after that, so he died right away. Going back.
Yeah, Caleb texted me, holy shit.
Yeah, this dude, like he's just there's a fucking dead deer right
Now
there.
you got to tell the story about your wife. Well, I guess that was later.
That was the last text message I got that night. But I did. So speaking of my wife, I got down, packed up most of my stuff, got down, knocked an arrow, put my camera on my bow, walked up slowly.
Make sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
He's
Smart.
clearly dead. So then I put my gear away and I set my bow on and I'm just sitting there like, what do I do now? Like I got 45 minutes of light. Ethan's hunting across the field, a couple hundred yards from me. Like
It's like 420 yards, so I can see Caleb in the distance.
Did you see the deer go down?
No, because I'm facing the opposite way, so he's to my back.
Gotcha.
I did see the deer run across the field, and I texted him, and you texted me at the same time saying there's an 8-point velvet across the field. But when he texted me, I turned around and I saw him in the field.
like me standing out there.
Yeah. But then there's 5 immature bucks in my field.
Yeah. So I was watching them a little bit, but they were so far away that they weren't really keyed in on me.
Yeah.
So I sat down there next to the deer, took a couple pictures. The first person I FaceTime was my wife, and I made it so like she could see my face at first. And I remember it was like she's like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you on the ground?" She's like, "Did you get a deer?" And then I turned the camera around. She's like, she was. I'm like, and my daughter was already, not that she would have even known what was going on, but she was already sleeping.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
I did that first, and then I've never killed a buck. We've been together 10 years now. I've never killed a deer where she's been able to come see it.
Like track it?
Yep. She was working nights when I killed Traveler. When I killed Dad's buck, she was at work. When I killed Massey, she was at work.
And then all your out-of-state hunts.
And then all the rest were out of state. One of those ones, maybe Dad's buck, COVID times, she was working Bucyrus, so she was travel nursing, like staying in hotels during the week, so she wasn't even home. So she's never seen a buck that I've killed. Like I've been with her. I've been with her for all the good bucks that I've killed.
Yeah.
I've been with her, and she's never seen one.
Well, I hope Ohio's the difference.
Yeah, because she bought, you know how wives are. She bought like a little deer outfit for Blair and stuff. Like, God, take the cool pictures for the internet of your daddy with his buck, and then like, I always kill a buck when I'm not around my family. Yeah. But so she got to see it, and then group chats a little bit. Texted you, no reply.
Obviously.
Or you or Aaron are both like out and about with no service.
Obviously.
So like, that's all happening. And just waiting for Ethan basically at that point. I mean, I was just sitting there and I just kind of let it all soak in. I didn't even. We had no alcoholic drinks with us. I couldn't even have a beer or nothing. I was just sitting there and enjoying the night. It was warm.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it felt
was
warm.
60 degrees.
Yeah, that's for hunting. That's like I'm in a t-shirt just hanging out
in early September.
Yeah, that's warm. 60 degrees is warm for hunting.
Well, for hunting, but I've come down to Kentucky where it's been 100 degrees before.
Yeah,
miserable.
We've been pretty lucky on that, but I should rephrase my statement for Matt. It was comfortable. Like I'm just sitting there, like I'm not cold. You know what I'm saying? Like the night was nice, and then it got dark enough, and then Ethan came over and did a little bit of filming, and then we just, we had to figure out what the hell are we going to do now. This deer is 1,000,000 miles from the road, and can't pull it because the velvet's going to peel off.
Because you hadn't mentioned this, when he hit the ground,
he already took a chunk off.
While he was thrashing on the ground, couple inch spot on his main beam, rubbed off from him just thrashing on the ground. So
I have a feeling it's hard to get a good, veiny, fluffy Kentucky velvet.
Well, some years it's like September 2nd or 3rd when it opens, because the way they do it, it's the first Saturday in September.
So it could be the first.
So it just depends on how it falls.
I think next year it's a good year.
I think
because we've been at the last couple years. We've been at the end of it.
Yeah. So like last year was the 7th. I think this year was the 6th. I think next year's the 5th.
Yep. And then,
so it'll count down until it recycles. So a couple years from now, it'll be the 3rd or whatever. And
Yeah,
then
'cause there's a lot of bucks right now. Like the one Ethan's hunting is not in velvet anymore.
Yeah.
So there are clean bucks down here.
Because like when I started hunting Kentucky, it was just the coincidence that I started when it was earlier in September. Like my first year I came down, I think it was like the 2nd or the 3rd.
And then you have Labor Day off too.
Yeah, and then Labor Day you had off, so I didn't take off of work. But we would hunt velvet bucks until like the 6th or 7th. And we always knew around that time is when they would shed. And it's the 7th today, so right? Or the 8th.
Unfortunately,
7th.
It'd be hard to get a beautiful like golden brown velvet. Still lots of blood flowing through, like some of those August mule deer you see. Like a whitetail, there's not very many opportunities. The Tennessee hunt now, but like
if you shot him, like if it was the opening day and it was the right situation, I think you could do it in Kentucky, but it would have to be the early opener.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, it's almost impossible.
So you can't drag this deer out by his rack. You can't drag it out by his feet because you can't have his rack touch anything.
Throw him on your shoulder.
I debated.
Too big to do that.
We debated doing. Yeah, the buck was. His rack's not huge, but there's no way we were carrying that deer out of there.
No, he's
big old
not
pot belly on
little.
him. So I knew Matt had a game card, and he wanted to come be part of the recovery anyways, even though I'm sitting here looking at the deer in front of me. So we decided to keep the coyotes off him. I put all my stinky hunting clothes on him, and then me and Ethan left, went and got supplies for butchering and taking care of it at Walmart, went and grabbed a burger. Matt showed up, game carded it out there. We went and got the gate key because Ethan forgot his gate key at home.
Yep.
He's Ethan.
Because it's on my keys. It's my car.
It's not a knock. It's just the fact that sometimes
I forget things. It happens. We all forget things. Caleb, you almost killed us yesterday.
I know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. Camera plate. You forgot camera plate, keys,
Bow rope.
At the beginning of this podcast, you asked me for something that you had.
No, he was asking for your plate on your tripod.
Yeah.
Which was on my tripod.
Yeah, then I put back on your tripod.
Yeah, so Ethan's wheels are spinning up here, but that's okay.
He's excited.
And he is. So we weren't able to open the gate. So we got the cart over.
Which, for the people listening that may not understand, to open the gate would have gained us access to drive within less than 100 yards of the deer, probably.
I mean, in theory, with how dry the ground actually was, I probably could have just drove to the
deer. Yeah, and the drag was probably 300, 400, 500 yards, right? Maybe more.
It's far. It's not quite as far. I don't think as far as yours was last year, but it's close.
Like in the dark, it seemed like we were walking a long time.
Forever.
Yeah. Thankfully, Matt had the game cart. We did still get some rubbage on the antlers with the game cart, but me and Ethan were able to get the deer out pretty much unscathed.
A lot better than dragging it.
Very much so better than dragging. I didn't want to do the gutless cape mount method in the field there because Ethan's still hunting that general area. So I wanted to leave the least amount of scent and guts and all that because there's a lot of coyotes on this farm, like a lot.
Oh, that's a lot farther than I thought.
962 yards.
All right, so it was farther than yours.
Yeah.
It didn't feel it.
So like at night, I felt like we were walking a long ways, but I didn't want to over exaggerate it. But
1,000 yards, huh?
1,000-yard drag. That would have been fun.
It's crazy how long that farm is because that's only halfway to me.
Yeah, and then you're only halfway through the farm.
Yeah.
Damn. You ain't kidding. So we got him up. I gutted him by the truck. We were able to get him around the fence pretty safe. Went and got some ice. I brought him back here, let these boys clean up and go to bed, and then I caped him on the bed of the truck, deboned him, or quartered him on the truck, got the back straps and stuff out, and I was out there working until about 2:30 in the morning. My cape job is not the greatest. I did what I could. I saved the majority of the velvet. We were able to do some velvet lock.
I bet you saved 90% of it.
Yeah, there's some splits and stuff. But
it adds character.
Right.
Yeah,
character.
Because we were talking earlier, if you wouldn't have killed him, there's probably a good chance he would have went out that night
and rubbed that off.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because it was so brittle when we were touching it.
Yep, you can move it.
Yeah,
like it was. Yeah, the text Matt was referring to is my wife. I didn't see it until later because I had bloody hands and phone was down. But my wife texted me at like, I don't know, 11:30, 11:45, and was like, oh, good night. I'm proud of you. Love you. Thank God that drought is over or something like that.
Thank God the curse is over.
She even knew that I was on. Caleb's very streaky. So, last time this happened, I killed a whole bunch of bucks in a short period.
Dude, I hope it starts.
It's funny. You were talking about how Linda has never been there for a buck recovery. She is gone the first part of November. She is out of town.
So that's even funnier. This year, she won a trip at work, so she's going to be gone from November 2nd to November 6th this year.
So there's a chance.
So I'll probably kill my buck while she's in Gatlinburg, with her mom and her sister. I told her if I killed before that in Ohio, I'll keep Blair for the week and she can go without the child. If I don't kill, then she's got to take Blair because I got to hunt for 6 days straight.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I did what I could with the cape and stuff, and it'll be all right. I contacted our taxidermist Madison. She's been on the podcast before. She told me what to do instruction wise, and we're gonna get this thing mounted up here pretty quick, and hopefully on display soon in the shop.
I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I'll have it in the shop for a little while.
And she seemed pretty excited about that early season cape.
So she's a newer taxidermist. She's been doing it for 2 or 3 years now, and I've watched her. So at the fair,
she does good work though.
She does at the fair. We have the booth next. She has the booth next to ours every year, the last 2 years, and I watch her every day. She mounted a new deer. So she went from antlers on a pedestal in a tan cape to everything set up, final work needing to be done. But we watched her mount 5 deer at the fair, and they all looked really good. She's got, I hate to say it in this way, but I will.
Sexist.
No, she's got that. She has that female attention to detail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like men are men, and we're thinking about bucks and wanting to make the bucks look manly. Well, not every buck looks manly.
No,
veiny.
Yeah.
Female they have an attention to detail.
Yeah, they do.
And I have no problems using a younger taxidermist because her work is great. She's local, small
Where's
company.
she at again?
Seville.
Seville.
Wadsworth. Like she's right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, and we've used, and people are gonna be listening like, well, aren't you buddies with Salter and aren't you buddies with, Joey and aren't you buddies with Grossenbacher? They have, all those guys I just named have gotten 5 to 10 deer from our group. So like it's not like we're hoarding deer.
No, and you're just,
we've spread them out between 3 or 4 different taxidermists in the past. And Madison, she made the mention a couple years ago, like, oh, you're hunting Kentucky in velvet season. Like I would love to get my hands on one of those. And I'm like, well, I shoot one. I'll bring it to you.
Yeah. Man of your word.
Plus Joey and Jason aren't going to start mounting until after gun season.
Cause like when you called her on the phone, she's like, yeah, I don't remember what it was word for word, but basically I should be able to get this done fairly quick for you. And we both looked at each other and smiled like,
hey, this son of a bitch is going to be on the wall while we're hunting in Ohio.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And I might try making a video going to pick it up at her shop and stuff because that's what we do. So
yeah,
you'll be able to see that whole process. But
that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm very satisfied with it. It's like I said in the beginning of this podcast, it's kind of weird now. I got like some time here. No kid, no wife in this house to just kind of relax.
Beer, whiskey, football.
Yeah.
And deer butchering.
Yeah, Packers play soon. What time is it? I don't even know what time
it's not even 3 yet.
TV's being...
Yeah.
The place that we're staying at, it's like we talked earlier, it's definitely better than sleeping in a tent, but we aren't bougie living life right now.
We do have a popcorn machine, which is strange.
There is a bunch of weird stuff, like not weird stuff. There's like ice makers and like fancy
homey stuff.
She had this decanter set with a bottle shaker and stuff like they have. So that. Ethan, on the wall over here, there's a Kentucky Derby edition Woodford Reserve, and they have it at that liquor store too. That liquor store's got everything over there.
There's like essential oils.
She likes the color.
The moon phases. Look at that.
She likes the color red for sure.
Well, it's the Red Rose Cottage.
It is.
No, I mean, honestly, for an Airbnb, it was really, really affordable. What was it, like $300 or something for the whole?
Yeah,
$400 for the whole weekend.
That cabin we stayed at last year, I wish it was closer to here, so it was in the middle of us, because that was a beautiful place. But it was very far for you to drive to your hunting spot.
Because that was past your spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
so
the wrong direction.
I was driving like an hour and 20 every time.
And that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No, I appreciate meeting in the middle, even though this isn't the perfect, ideal location.
Maybe next year we'll expand our search a little bit to somewhere
a
little bit more remote.
We looked hard.
Yeah. There's not much around here.
Which is kind of surprising.
But we also looked... Oh, I don't know what that is, but...
There's noises that aren't... Not the podcast.
No.
There's ambient noises in the neighborhood.
Yeah. But we looked... In our defense, I think it was too close to season. Yeah. I think a lot of people probably booked up.
Well, there are a lot of people hunting here. I mentioned that liquor store. I was there just perusing their selection day, and like the lady that works there, her husband or her brother is a has a lease operation out here and guides hunts. And like the gas station lady, when I was buying ice at 11 or midnight, was like, "Oh, did you shoot a deer?" Like
You can give that,
everyone knows what's happening right here, right now.
You can give that lease information to Aaron Olson because he wanted to go hunt a lease.
I should have got. Well, I told that girl I'd be back tomorrow to buy some stuff. Cause
honestly, ask her what
I would. Did you have a business card or a Facebook?
Yeah, just
to
kind of
curious.
be nosy. Yeah.
But that's the story on that. I mean, I'm still
he's a heck of a buck. Like I would 100%. If that same buck walked by me tonight, he's getting it. I'd 100% shoot that deer.
Yeah, I'm happy with
full velvet.
I know our big thing is making sure you shoot a mature class deer. Be proud of what you shoot. You know, all the things we preach on this podcast, and like I'm able to like happily say I can check a lot of my boxes.
We talked about it.
I'm very, very satisfied with how this has gone out. Yes, he's not a 150-inch 6-year-old giant buck with a drop tine, but that's
good luck.
Right? Yeah.
We talked about
there's
it a couple
reality,
weeks ago.
and then there's what we can sit here and talk about all day on the podcast. But the reality was this buck came in,
and you know
it was a deer that I was willing and wanting to shoot, and very happy with shooting him.
And save the jawbone because I'd be curious. But
yes, I got to make sure Madison remembers that because I'm taking her.
Between all of us, just looking at him, guessing like he's got to be 3'4", right?
Yeah, just because of his heft, his
Yeah.
weight, his actual body weight.
Yeah, like he doesn't.
He's
have
got weird bases. I don't know if it's because he's in velvet. His bases are strange to me.
They're not. That's weird.
They almost like the actual
like
the pedicle is huge.
Yeah.
And then they shelf back in, but he still does have good mass.
Yeah.
But like if his antlers would have been normal, they would have been real. They would have been like beer can.
Yeah.
Like it was weird
to match his bases.
Yeah.
You're saying.
Yeah. It's I don't know, kind of strange, but I'm happy. He's got an extra little flyer to make him a 10-point kind of.
No,
it probably doesn't measure an inch.
No.
Depending on if we use real scale or hunting.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a good buck for sure.
We talked about it a couple weeks ago on the podcast. What would make you kill a deer out of state? And it's deer doing mature buck things, and he checked those boxes for you.
Yeah, there was never a doubt in my mind that he wasn't a mature level deer, 3-4-year-old buck. Like the moment I saw him, belly, specifically the belly is what's sticking out to me when I replay this.
When you first saw him,
I'm just thinking he's got such a hefty body and his rack is good. Like this is a shootable deer. You know? I was surprised he had the full velvet on. That was also shocking to me. Like, man, he's got full velvet.
See, if it was me, I'd have been like, he's full velvet. I don't care about anything else.
Well, I mean, maybe 5 years ago I would have thought that way, but now I've talked it up so much that I have to at least make sure he's got something up there. I'm going to hear about it forever from everybody. But yes, very happy. Can't wait to get the mount to the taxidermy so we can show people what it looks like, because I've had multiple people text me, dude, I want to see it. Like, can you bring it over? I'm like, I got to get this thing. This is a time sensitive operation with the velvet and the way we're doing things. Like, I got to get this deer to the taxidermist as soon as he's back. I'll put him in the shop so anyone can swing by and see it for a couple days or weeks, while I try to convince my wife.
And your taxidermist said that even like, hey, she was asking you a lot of questions like, when are you coming back? What are you doing with it? How are you prepping it? Can you freeze it? And like she wanted to preserve it as well.
She said she wanted it, like she said legally or whatever, she needed
24 hours.
24 hours across in the border and all that. So she wanted to make sure all the I's were dotted and the T's were crossed.
Yep. Which is good because we are legal beagle over here. So
yeah, we
try
have
to be.
So speaking of legal beagle, now that we can kind of start bullshitting a little bit. I saw, so we talked about the hunter that went down a little bit. You didn't know him, but apparently
I didn't know of him, but
I was reading more into it last night. He's a big deal in the Western world, like a very big deal.
Really?
And like he's one of the main guys that was making films with Brian Call Gritty for a long time. His name's Ryan, I believe. I think.
See, I don't watch any of that Western stuff.
Brian Call posted like a 14-minute or 10-minute like video on his thoughts on it, and it was very he went off on a lot of tangents, which was weird. But
was he for it, against it, or what was he defending?
He was just basically saying like, obviously something bad happened. I spent years with this man. He's one of my best friends, and I love his family, and I know his integrity. I'm going to reserve my judgment until it's all said and done. Like, he obviously did something that's really bad, and he's going to get in trouble. But like, just because a human being makes that mistake. And it puts him in a tough spot because like we like to bash poachers a lot on our podcast because we're legal beagle and we were raised in churches and we just don't break the law a lot. So we translated that to our hunting.
Yeah.
And once you do hunting media and you're videotaping and putting it out there for the public to see
You have to be.
you have to follow the law every time. I'm not going to be that guy that says that we've never crossed a property line or done all these things in our younger years. It would be embarrassing for someone to act like they've never done anything wrong.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's tough for these guys that are really big in the industry that have eyes on them, getting fingers pointed at them, like Brian Call Gritty and this Ryan guy or the guy that got in trouble. Like his hands are so tied because he's spent years making films with the guy, living in tents and hunting with him, and so you can't just. Can you really just, people want to say, well, you have to be able to cut the cord. It's black and white, What do you do when it's one of your best friends that's breaking the law? What if Kevin would get busted for poaching 17 deer and you didn't even know it was happening?
Yeah.
And you've been best friends with him for all these years doing all this media. And then everyone's saying,
now I'm a poacher.
Yeah. Or, not only are you also probably a poacher, but your entire operation needs to cut ties. You need to do this. You need to blast them. You need to take down every video.
Yeah.
It's so in depth and it messes with their livelihood and their reputation. And you don't want anyone close to you to ever go down.
No.
But the reality is you're going to know someone that's going to go down eventually if you're in the game long enough. You know? So it was just interesting. Speaking of the legal beagle stuff, I mean, that kind of stuff's big in the hunting media right now. The fences and the poachers and the
we talked about it earlier too. It's just like when you get to that level of now it's a job and it's your means of income and you have to be successful, and if you're not successful you don't stay relevant, and if you're not successful on big animals you're really not relevant. And I think the pressure just gets to these guys, and the first I'm not going to say that they come out of the gate poaching, but I think the first couple years, they do a really good job at it, but then they realize that it's a lot harder than what the internet makes it seem. And then when they don't kill, it's like, well, sometimes that's not a paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think that the pressure gets to them, and then they basically just.
They go in the gray zone and then just stay in the gray zone.
They stay in that gray zone.
I've done this, so I can do that. And I've done this now.
Yeah, you're exactly
right. And then I can keep on crossing that line until it gets really
they're not out there spotlighting, but you're exactly right. They're living in that gray zone, and then eventually they get caught, and then it's like, well, now you're screwed.
Yeah.
Well, and a big problem is like you have such egregious cases like CJ, where it's like, dude went out with bad intentions, was poaching was breaking the law from the start, killed this giant buck, all the things that he did. So we need to make sure that we put that guy behind the bars and make an example out of him. But then what happens when Lee Lakowski does it on accident? Because he has.
No, he did.
What happens if Andre D'Aquestro gets caught hunting over mineral licks? Because he has.
Yeah.
What happens when Josh Bomar, like him or hate him, what happens if he gets caught hunting over bait in Nebraska in an outfitter? Because he has. So all of a sudden, CJ needs to be vilified as the worst thing that's ever happened to hunting. We need to not say his name, use his name for clout, all that crap, blah, blah, blah. But Bomar, D'Aquestro, Lakowski, they've also broken the law of poaching deer. Not poaching deer, but hunting deer, which makes...
Hunting illegally.
Yeah, was
based on law,
So, I mean, technically they were all doing really bad things. Lakowski's is pretty egregious. He admitted to it, so he got in, and he has integrity, so he's fine. But like, he shot a deer without a tag. That's poaching straight up, And then Bomar was hunting deer, supposedly knew that he was doing it over bait.
Wasn't the Lakowski thing like he didn't tag it properly? I don't think.
No, it was a zone thing.
So he was in the wrong zone.
Well, I think he bought a bunch of tag. He's Lee Lakowski, right? And then he ended up killing a buck in Oklahoma or something. And then, like, when he went to tag it in, he's like, I never even bought my license this year. I forgot or something.
Gotcha. It was just an honest mistake.
Yeah, and he admitted to it and took the fine.
Yeah.
You have to.
Well, when you're that, you have to.
He didn't post it and try to hide it. He just like, oh, God dang it.
I messed up.
I messed up.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Everyone's fallible, but working class bow hunters has really, really been pushing don't support poaching hard, making fun of Chris Brackett with their T-shirts, making sure anyone who talks about C.J. Alexander is silenced. when you go that hard on anti-poaching, you better really cross your eyes or cross your T's, dot your I's, because like people are going to be gunning for you. You don't think that Chris Brackett, when he finds out he has a T-shirt made after him, is going to do everything in his power to find them breaking a law? You know what I mean? So like, who wants that kind of target on their back?
I haven't seen this T-shirt yet.
We both have them.
them.
We both got them.
I want to see a picture of it.
Do you have it? Did he bring it with you?
No.
Either did I.
It's a podcast mic, and it says like it says "Stop supporting poachers," and it shows 2 Euro mounts, and only one of them has a tag on it. So it's making fun of Hunter and Brackett. That's what, and it's directly. They talked about it on an episode too. They're like, well, we're not gearing it towards anyone, but like, when you have a large podcast and a guy that shoots $2 with one tag.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So they, so I had to buy it.
Yeah. No, I like it.
You guys have anything to add?
No.
We're going to be doing this again tomorrow morning after Ethan and I kill. So
hopefully.
I'm calling my shot.
Oh,
Ballsy. I'm not.
whoa!
I am calling my shot. I'm putting it on air. I'm going deep tonight.
September 7th at 2:49 p.m.
Calling my shot.
What's your buck average I got to beat for this year? We talked about this is
129.
This is our inside jokes for fun. Don't get all worked up there.
So last year I killed. Well, I can actually look at my calculator. It's probably still in there.
You probably want to do best of 3, right? Because I'm only gonna hunt 3 states, so I can't do 4. But.
516 was my total last year. But if I do, let's just do this real quick. If I do best of 3, oh, that's not good for you, son. You have to average 142 if you do best of 3. Because if my best 3 last year was 426 inches.
What was your PA buck?
Like a little under 120.
So I'm going to be behind the 8 ball right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good challenge to have. Oh, darn. We got to worry about killing multiple good deer.
Yeah. But that's a good challenge.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm just going to put it on the air, unless God like truly blesses me, it's going to be hard to top last year. And I realize that. Like, I'm not.
Well, tonight's the start.
You got your teeth back.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? This is like the thing
Got
we
fake
talk
teeth
about.
in his mouth.
The thing we talk about the most on the podcast is deer age.
I thought you were talking about like my physical teeth.
veneers.
That's your deer age back. On those 3 bigger ones were 4, 5, and 5.
Yep. So my PA buck was 4.5. My Ohio buck, which
I'm surprised by that PA buck.
I am too.
In a good way for you. It's
I am
good.
too.
But like I just did
I thought
not
he was
think.
2.5, 3.5, something like that. And then 5.5 for Kentucky, 5.5 for Ohio. But the Ohio buck, I'm a little bit like
You thought he was old.
I thought he was like 7.5, and I shouldn't say I thought. Like I have trail cam pictures to almost prove it. So I think that once they get to a certain as much as we want to sit here and say that that's scripture, I still don't think the teeth thing is like 100%.
It's one of those things where when it's good for you, we like it.
Yeah.
When it's bad for you, we don't.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to complain about a 5, even if I am wrong and he is truly 5.5. Like, I guess I think I have like 5 years of history with him. So there's a possibility that a year and a half he was just a really good deer and then just never got any bigger after that,
Without a physical characteristic, though, obviously, me and you have done an extensive studying of our deer and trail cameras and bucks. Mm-hmm. So, like, we have an idea of.
But I understand what you're getting at. It's easy.
Yeah, like we think this deer's the same one year to year to year,
it's
and it's so easy to be like
get them confused.
It's actually 3 different deer or 2 different deer, unless they have a swollen knee, a missing ear, an eye that's.
I mean, look at that stanky leg deer that we were just talking about earlier. Watching like. If you would have showed picture by picture, I'd have been like, "That's the same deer."
Yeah,
because
but they weren't.
But the frame was like even the brow tines pointed in, like it was perfect. So to your point, yeah, you could be right. I could have thought that 1 or 2 deer were the same, and
I wouldn't even say it's not that I'm right. It's just I think that we put too much stock in our own thoughts. Like I'm convinced that every deer.
Yeah.
I'm convinced I know every deer. I know every deer in Chatham, and I know exactly how old they are and where they are. But like, I could just as easily as I'm right, I could be so wrong, and there's no way to prove it ever. There's never a way to prove it, so it's all conjecture. So,
yeah, I'm excited about that. We're gonna do a podcast on my channel about like that whole process and like what our thoughts are and stuff like that. So, and I think going forward, we're gonna send the teeth going forward.
I'm.
It's a super. I was really intimidated by it at first. Like, you literally buy the packet online, they send it to you. There's pictures for directions. It's super simple.
We like pictures.
You pull the teeth out, you put it in the bag, and you just ship it out. Like, all you gotta do is pay for postage on the way out, and it's like $5.
I do. I actually. This is gonna sound silly, but just bear with me. I might do it with some does.
No, I'm with
like
you.
those long nosed swayed back does
Yeah.
on my property. When they come back as 14 years old, I'm gonna be like, "Fucking, I knew you've been blown out since I was in high school." You know what I mean? Like,
No, I agree. Some of them old nannies gotta be, close to 10 years old.
we had an incredible story of a nanny that was missing, and I don't know if you've probably seen part of it. Do you remember when I had a deer that was completely missing a front left leg, a doe?
Mm-hmm.
No front left leg at all.
I remember.
I had her on trail camera in like 2013, 2014, maybe even 2015, and up until maybe like 16 or 17. Then she disappears. I could have shot her and actually passed on her. Then she disappears. Fast forward like 4 years, so like 22-ish, 21, so like 4 or 5 years later, I'm like 4 or 5 miles north of our farm watching this bean field, and this doe comes out with that same walk, missing her entire and like, so there's two possibilities. She either moved 4.5 miles and it's the same deer, or there was two deer with the exact same injury, a clean missing leg, like possibly from birth, possibly from birth missing. I'm not talking like a nub or anything. There was nothing there on this doe. She had 3 legs, not even a nub on that front left side. And then years later, I find this doe that's like exactly like her. And she ended up getting killed by my buddy Tim like the next year. He shot her. And he said she had like no teeth, which, whatever that means.
Yeah.
But like, I wonder.
It's very possible.
I guess we could end that podcast on a doe story. That camera died.
Nice.
It was on like 4 seconds ago.
No, it's got to be close.
So if you're watching the podcast, sorry for this black screen. I'll show you a bunch of cool pictures of my buck.
No, that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 110.
Yeah. We appreciate you watching, listening. Deer Shop Podcast, episode 110. Watch, listen, keep an eye out for Born Again Bow Hunting's podcast on the same time frame. We're doing it tomorrow.
And we're out.
We're out.